Welcome back, Keepers of the Flame. Okay. So I'm gonna have some appointments today, so I'm gonna get a few in now. Okay, I know what's going on in the cities. ISIS left. I don't remember what we used to call the German commander person. Whatever. Anyway, that guy's taking a digger. That's fine. Whatever. Right. Threat not gone. Crisis not averted. Crisis just distracted for a little bit. So this whole save law thing. If your last name currently does not match your last name on your birth certificate, you don't get to vote. Not that the voting ever mattered really all that much anyway, but everybody's got to go look it up. Everybody's got a fucking class action lawsuit against them for voter fraud. Everybody does. Everybody who's running a fucking election in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 elections. Go look it up. It's fucked up. That's the problem, is we're so distracted by this bullshit, we don't actually know what's actually happening. We're so distracted. We don't know what's actually happening. And I'm going to run through that today. How did I get from a spiritual channel to this? Okay. Lady, this isn't spiritual. Okay. So, for those of you who need to abandon your humanity, I bid you farewell. Okay. So, the the law, the save law. I just covered the not last name matching. So like if you're married or you changed your name or whatever it is, if it doesn't match birth certificate, you're not going to be able to vote. All right, here's the other thing about that. Getting a divorce is going to be excruciatingly impossible, as in like a well-documented ER visit might not get you a divorce even. So get your divorces now. If you're planning on getting married, be like, babe, legally buying a house together and having both our names on it is the same fucking thing. I can attest to that. Pinky fucking swear. It's the same fucking thing. Same thing. Same thing. It's the same thing. You still got to go through the legal procedure to get the things untied. Okay, so it's really no different. It really isn't any different, other than the lawyers get more money. Okay, so when you're thinking about your life, when you're thinking about your choices, when blah 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 blah, you know, it's so sad. You know, gay people worked their asses off so they could get married to have coverage under the law, and now it is absolutely atrocious, the shit that they're doing to marriage. And I'm not a religious person. I personally will never be married again because I don't believe in that institution. I believe it is a slave master narrative that they just glue you into. Now, you can believe whatever you want to. You can see I put on rose-colored glasses all the fucking time. I was wearing them the other day. Yeah, right here. See? Rose-colored glasses. Okay. That's my version of being Delulu. Okay? So, it is for you to decide. I am just giving you a heads up that this law is rolling out. If you are in a predicament where you're like, fuck, this is not good for my health, it's not good for my sanity, all the, you know, all these beautiful, wonderful things that you are, then you need to ASAP call all the good lawyers in town. So he, they, she, did I miss a thing? Whatever you're engaged with or married to does not get those lawyers. Okay, love you, bye. When we kiss it. So, also, when getting a divorce, it has been said that getting your passport before you get a divorce, if you're planning on leaving the country, because Okay. When you get used to coming off of the threat, when that adrenaline cortisol takes a dip and then the serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins, and dopamine kick in, oh, look what a beautiful day. Oh, look, it's so gorgeous, darling. I feel like I'm at the beach. Okay. So, not today, bitches, not today. So, we know the drill. We know the drill. we know the drill. Okay. That's right, not gone. Okay. The laws and whatever else are getting worse. It's already illegal in some states for women to have access to health care. And there's been a lot of, they keep screaming about birth rates, and there's mothers out there that are dying along with their babies because they can't get health care. I don't know what the goons at the top are thinking, but I don't think they are. I don't think they are. I don't think this is anything sort of sensical. I don't, and maybe that's the point. Chaos magic. Anyway, so, and now we're going back to the Epstein files. Well, because they're really going to do some hard arresting. They're really going to hold anybody accountable. Why do you think the thugs were in the streets doing what they were doing? They already knew nobody was going to be held accountable because nobody's been held accountable. Ever in the history of anything has any of our presidents that have broken the law or whatever. Yeah, arkansas.com. Go visit it. Okay. They have a different set of rules for themselves. Okay. And I'd be willing to bet there's a lot more innocent people in jail than we know about. Okay. I'm holding back. You can't say anything nice. Don't say anything at all. Okay, I won't. Okay. So, I was going to make a comment. So, when focusing on what to drive towards next, Leah Miller, Leeja space MILLER, I posted one of her videos yesterday, has a great channel that keeps track of the laws for us. Please go support her. When this dust is settling, take the time you need to get the central nervous. I posted a few videos on that yesterday about keeping your central nervous system in somewhat of a soothing space so you can make better choices for yourself and for your loved ones. Okay, so now our focus needs to be on something else. Okay, it needs to be either advocating and spreading the knowledge about how Minneapolis got the fuck out of this mess, and it was basically bigger, smarter, intelligent, probably a well-trained soldier. A well-trained soldier knows he doesn't need to use his weapon. His presence alone. A well-trained warrior shows up with coffee and donuts, apparently. Okay, that's a well-trained soldier. Now, do they always do the bestest, most amazingest? No, they're not perfect. Okay, nobody is. Okay, but they are effective at what they do, and that's the important part. Okay, so I'm not saying join the military. I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that we just saw a drastic difference between healthy and toxic masculine. Okay. It's ridiculous. They showed up. I'm sus. I'm a little sus, but I'll give credit to where the credit's due. Keep my merit intact. But it's a little sus. That's so... And I can't even tell you that it wouldn't work on me. Because I wasn't there, but I don't know. I would have been like, I probably would have been a little bit charmed and had a coffee and a donut. So just remember, like, yeah, it was cool and they did what they needed to do, but you could tell there's a difference. There was a difference in the aura. There was a difference in the impact. Like, if you can see those things, you can see those things. But you can do the body language thing if you can't see the auras. If you can't see that. And the emotional impacts on the people. Obviously, coffee and donuts. But the footage, you just watch them walk. You don't even need to look at their face. You don't need to look at their face. You watch the walk. We watched someone walk away from a murder scene. And we watched somebody walking to surveil. To watch the walk. It's all about the walk. It really is. It so is. You can read a lot about a person. Okay. And no, I'm not going to break that down for you. You take it in here. Take it in here. Take it in here. Take it in here. Because I'm not the body language person. I want you to look at the footage and feel in your own body. Feel it. Screw this whole, it has to be this way. If you don't follow the notebook or you don't read the book on it, it's just not going to help you. No, take it in. Take it all in here. Memorize it. It's an energetic pattern. Everything we do is energy. Everything is energy. So if you watch the walk and you just sit with it, okay, get your like little, whatever, get your beverage on, get it on, and then come in and say, okay, I'm going to look at this with honest eyes. I'm going to look at this through clarity, through sincerity, through a place of having a knowledge that I've been denied. A place that is untouchable by the outside world. I'm going to take it to that place. Okay? Some place that's had to have a veil in front of it. Neptune and Aries. Blowtorch the veil, darling. Smash the illusion. Get in here and say, ooh, look, there's instinctual wisdom here, just like every other creature on the planet has, and it is my primordial right to assess through that lens. Ooh. Okay, so when you can get into that and then bring it up and jot a few things down for yourself if that's what you need to do, but as much as you can memorize the pattern and begin to kind of work on that. Just notice it. It's a Scorpio, 12th house stellium. So I'm good at noticing. And once you get into the noticing, you begin to say, okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. I don't know what that is, but I'm curious. I don't know what that is, but it is yummy. Okay. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. Here's the thing that nobody tells you. You're pre-programmed. Well, everybody tells you that. Well, most people tell you that. You're pre-programmed to desire. You're pre-programmed. So when you go towards the thing that feels yummy, because it's attached to some other pattern in the past that you're familiar with. Ooh, that you're familiar with. There's the kicker. Right? So whatever you got from your childhood. And I am going to do a video after this one about that particular aspect of life and how we start looking at things a little differently. So when you have that ting and you're like, okay, feel really yummy in my body. I feel really good. The presence is nice and whatever else. That is not a signal to move forward. That's a signal to pay a little bit more attention. Just a little bit more attention. A little tiny bit more attention. Okay. If you're like, ooh, I don't like that person. Oh, I can't pinpoint it. What is it? If you can't, identify exactly what it is that's going, maybe not. Just remove yourself a little bit. Just a little. Just a little. Just enough. Not enough to be like, oh, I clearly just sent them a signal, stay the fuck away from me. I'm just going to stay open, but not invested. Okay. Open, not invested. Okay. The yum feelings, no investment either. Observing, engaging, but not invested. I cannot stress this enough. Save your investments for those people who you know can make returns upon those investments. And it sounds like transactional. Listen to me. We have been entrained to be slaves. We're going to have to start dealing with that aspect. We've been denying it for 50 years now, ever since we've had the ability to spend the money we earn. This is a very, very difficult process to start taking up, because there are going to be people in our environment that are going to tell us to fuck all the way off, and that we have no right to talk about such things because slavery, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this is why maybe starting a white women's only circle so we can heal. Okay, so we don't cause more fucking damage than we already have. Okay, but we do need to address this in ourselves. Otherwise, we're going to slip down that fucking slip and slide they've just created for us with the loss of the health care, the loss of the right to vote. They're literally stripping our rights away. If we don't vet this from our system, we're going to be in a lot more trouble. We have to vet it from our system. It's not enough to just see it anymore. It's not enough just to pay attention to it and to know the history and to whatever the fuck else. We need to address it directly within us. It's not okay just to sit here and look at a crystalline liquid screen and say, oh, problem solved because now I can see it. No, you need to know how to interact with things. You need to know how to assess the energy. Our womanly innate primordial instinct, intuition has been so shut down that we can't look out for our best interest. And that's how they wanted it. That's what patriarchy does. It takes everybody's instinctual wisdom and intuition and shuts it all the way down because you're too busy in trying to get out of the abusive situation. Okay? And then when you can't find a way out of the abusive situation, you need to make everything everybody else's fault. So if we can come in for a little while, at least those of us over the age of 30, if you're 20 something, baby, go have your parties. Go have some fun. You can listen to me. It'll come, but don't forget to have the funness. Don't forget to be that joyful, celebratory creature. And we'll be that too. The above 30-year-olds will be that too, abso-fucking-lutely. But don't get too wrapped up in what could be on its way. Know about it, but create those communities, because we were robbed of that opportunity. The majority of us were robbed of the opportunity to create the communities, to go create with your friends, your circles. Go be with them. Go. Okay. We'll be here later. Okay. Okay. So reading it, right? And again, this will help with the 27-year-olds too, but you still need to learn how to interact with those even though you don't like them. Okay. And the best way you can do that is by practicing it. This is for the people that probably were forced to attend church and those communities were toxic as fuck. Extremely religious, toxic upbringing, those systems that didn't allow you to be anything remotely human. I'm going to say it. Religion does not allow you to be human. It removes your humanity. It demands you have no humanity. You have to follow the indoctrination and fuck everything else that's going on inside of you. Okay? That's what religion is. It's a gutting of the human. Okay? There's nothing left in there. It's suspended. You have to give it, it says, give it over to Scarface Sky Daddy. You're not allowed to possess it because it belongs to somebody else. No, it's yours. It's yours. You can choose to hold Scarface Sky Daddy's hand, but the moment you subject yourself, that's right, I'm using really, the moment you subject yourself to another's indoctrination system is the moment that you've lost your sovereignty, you've lost your autonomy, and now you have to go with the hive. And I get that we are hive creatures, okay? But we are in the age of Aquarius, which is separating us, okay? This is why we had the childhoods we had. That's right. We get to blame the cosmos now. No. We have specific duties here. Quit your whining. Let's get to work, okay? That's how we roll here. So when we have the abilities that we already have, we don't need to take a class to develop this. We don't need to spend thousands of dollars to access what we already have. It's about sitting with it and saying, okay, I don't like that person, but I'm going to comprehend. I'm going to understand why. Is that person triggering something I need to look at? Is that person triggering something that I've witnessed before and saw not go well? Is that person triggering something maybe even from past lives, like something you haven't quite touched here? I'm trying to put this into words. Something you haven't touched here, something that's like in your deepest, darkest depths. And it could be, if you want to attach an energetic narrative to it, you could say something in the past life happened for you that didn't go so well, and it was traumatic and whatever else, and that person is tinging on the energy. Okay, so it could be that too, because sometimes we don't fucking know. It's just about, and the reason why we don't know is not our fault. It's not to blame and shame. It's to get curious. It's not to say, oh, you're stupid, you don't know. No, it's to get curious. It's to get curious and say, okay, it's okay to not know. Not knowing is a cool thing, because that way you can come to knowing on your own. You don't have to have somebody at the front of a classroom or a pulpit or whatever the hell it is telling you, you got to read this book, you got to think this way about this book, and if your homework doesn't come out the way I like it, you're going to get a bad grade. Okay? That's called indoctrination. That is not what we're doing here. We're being curious. So coming up with an integral place to stand inside of yourself, rather than continuing to be aqua taco about how everybody's energy is hitting you. Okay? So be curious, but don't invest. Be observant, and that is sort of a little bit of an investment when you're observing, but your real hard, heavy duty time is spent with those where your heart is valued, where your heart is held sacred. Don't be doing the outside thing. Okay? Don't be investing in things that you have no concept of, okay? Because people will always put their best face forward. We all do that. We all have to do that in order to blah, 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 okay? Civilization, yada, 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 okay? And we all have flaws. There's no getting away from that. There's no freaking saint on the planet. There never has been, and there never will be. I don't believe in Jesus. The Jesus that the Abrahamics believe in. There's documentation in the Septuagint that somebody named Jesus existed, and hoo boy, So, there's that. But, again, investigate how you feel about it. Get curious about how it's making you feel. And just because it feels good doesn't always necessarily mean it's good. And just because it feels bad doesn't always mean it's bad. Sometimes it's somebody coming in and saying, hey, do you want to look at that? Because I think you should look at that. And it's not like they're, permanent instructor. No, it's they're tinging on something that says, hey, did you maybe want to look at that before it really goes sideways? And we as humans suck at this. We suck at it because we want to be like, no. And then we don't say anything. We gatekeep. We judge and walk away. Okay? That judgment and walking away should only be used when you're actually dealing with a full-fledged psychopath that could come into your life and okay. If they're at a safe distance, okay. So know thy force field, if you will. Know thy force field. Okay. And I'm going to address the ladies here, we know what we got. We know it. You stop denying it. We know what we got. We know it. And we use it. But use it in a way that is going to provide a pathway into a better future, not a worse one. Okay. We now have the ability to actually influence rather than slave under a narrative that's not serving humanity anymore. Maybe once upon a time it was, but it's still a shitty mythology. Okay? Because it doesn't have very good outcomes. The outcome is now, this is the fruit. This is why they tell you can't eat the fruit off the tree. We're waiting around in the fruit. So stop with the whole, if it feels familiar and good, it's good. Do you see how that works with religious people? Oh, the sermon was so lovely. Ha ha. Yeah, but you're still worshiping human sacrifice. So maybe. Oh, I just got finished reading the loveliest verse. Well, number one, we know it didn't come from Leviticus. And number two, it wasn't Mark 14:51. Okay? So those are two things you know for damn sure. Okay? Read your soul contracts all the way through. Or if you're curious about that, go read the entirety of the trilogy I lovingly call the Dark Triad, which is Abrahamics. Now, I say trilogy, but there's actually 4 books because the Quran has a Hadal attached to it. So, go read them. And then, as a little cherry on top, go read the Sharia laws. There's a vicious rumor going around that Britain, what the fuck do you, I can't remember what they want to be called anymore. It's not the UK. Is it Britain? London's the capital. But what is it okay to call it Britain? I don't freaking know. Who cares? Either way, that patch of land in the middle of the ocean. That patch of land in the middle of the ocean, well, not necessarily the middle of the ocean, but over across the pond a ways, they have instituted Sharia law for particular civilians there. That's why they're throwing strikes. It's not that they're racist. It's just that they don't want terrorism in their streets. And we get to scream religious persecution as a, do you see how lovely this bullshit works? Yeah, exactly. So just because it looks like human freedom, the thing that's going, oh, you can't persecute me, it's not freedom, is actually removing human rights. It's religious persecution. Yeah, removing human rights. See how they play their game? See how it feels good to stick up for religious freedom, but the religions are actually removing rights from humanity. Again, go read their books. Okay, so if it looks good, it feels good, and you feel like you're activating something that's going to help the community with their religious rights, you're actually killing human rights. That's how the system works. It's really, really horrific. It's so twisted, it's pathetic, and I get it and I comprehend it. But in the 60s, there were women in the streets in freaking bikinis, and now they can barely show their fucking eye holes. Okay? So it's not cool. Go look it up. Go look up the history of Iran. Go look it up. In the 60s, ladies were in their bikinis. I'm not joking. Okay? Religion is actually a very large problem. Okay? And there's just the extremists. That's your most passionate religious people. Okay? And all the subjugates, all the people that are like ho-humming, their battery, their life force energy is being put behind that, because if we attack the religious beliefs that are implementing the horrific laws, they have more people in power behind them. Saying, oh, look at all the people you'd be traumatizing if we can't traumatize them anymore. Okay, this is why I do not like religion. It is insidious to the hills. It's insidious. They collect the numbers just so they can torture more human beings on a massive scale. In the most horrific ways. In the most Epstein and Diddy of ways. Okay? So, just because it feels good doesn't mean it is. Just because you have some sort of what the fuck is this doesn't mean it's bad. So, learn not to invest, but to observe. Come back in and say, okay, I'm feeling this that way and the other way in my body. Now, if you get a headache or like a gut ache, that's probably not the right vibe for you. Okay? So if your head or your gut starts hurting, or maybe you get like an ache in your chest, that's probably not a good idea to invest in. Okay? But keep observing, because it's there for a reason. Okay? Just remember that pattern, that energy thing, and ting on it and say, okay, downloading energetic pattern information to system. Noted. Okay. And then the one that feels good, gently. Gently, gently. Okay. Be curious. Listen. Listen intently. That's your best, that's the greatest weapon the world has ever seen. Okay. And I'm about to be cut off. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. We'll talk about listening and